All right, so I'm going to be doing a simple question today, which is merge two sorted lists, right? So in this question, you're given a function where you're given two linked lists, right? List one and list two. And these are already pre-made lists, right? They already have their values. So if you take a look at the examples, right? List one is 1, 2, and 4, and list two is 1, 3, 4, right? So they already have those values. Um, and it's basically just asking to merge them, right? In one sorted list. So that's a really key word, the sorted, right? So we need to make sure that when adding the values together, that the lowest go first and it ends at the highest. Um, so how we're going to do that is um, we're going to have to create a whole new linked list to filter out and make sure that we meet the requirements that it's asking us for, right? It's not like an array where you could easily just do array.sort, right? Like we could just add list one and list two and then sort it. That's not a thing we could do with linked list. So this is how we kind of get around that. So if I was to make a, let's call this sorted underscore list equals, let's see, the class is called listNode. So we'll do listNode 0, right? So this is our empty list, right? There's nothing in it right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a dummy variable, right, equal to sorted underscore list. So we have our list and we have a dummy variable. And we're going to do while list one and list two, right? So this while loop right here is basically saying, okay, while list one and list two are not equal to none, right? So while list one and list two are not equal to none, right? We are going to be comparing both of the values. So if list one dot value is less than list two dot value, then we're going to want to set current equal to list one, right? And then we're going to do list one equals list one dot next. Actually, we're going to do current dot next. There you go. So this if statement is comparing, okay, if the value in list one, which in this example is 1, right, is less than the list 2 value, then we want to add that value into current. Current is the new list we made, right? It's the dummy variable. This is our dummy variable, right? Add it onto the new list we made, right? And just make sure to continue on to list, right? So we don't go back to the beginning. Like we actually continue updating our old list, right? Then we can just do a simple else statement, right? This is just for the other condition. So instead of list one dot value being less than, it'll be list two dot value. So it's just basically vice versa, right? Current dot next. This is the same, but instead of list one, it'll be list two, right? And list two equals list two dot next. There you go, right? So this is basically updating, and we need to make sure that that not only we're updating all this stuff, but we do current equals current dot next. The reason why we put this down here is we could kind of put it under the if and else, but that would be repetitive. It's in a while loop, so if this if statement is met, then we'll run this. If this else statement is met, we'll still run this, right? So we're just updating our code with this while loop. Okay, so in order for all this stuff to happen, list one and list two cannot equal none. But you have to think of the other examples. So for instance, in example 3, right, list 1 has 0 values while list 2 has a value. So you need to be able to kind of fit those accommodations in, like, okay, but what happens if list 1 is shorter than list 2? Well, we just checked in this while loop. If this stuff only works if there are values still left over. So we could just do a quick if, like if list1, right, then current dot next equals list1, right? And then we could do if list2 current dot next equals list2, right? Perfect. And then with that being said, all we have to do is just return our new list, right? So it will be the sorted list dot next. There you go. So the reason that we do dot next for this is, first of all, is current is being used as a dummy variable. It's being used to basically add the new values, right? Once we're done adding and we're ready to return the entirety of our linked list, we just return the original, which is this here. This is our original like whole list, right? Sorted list um, is equal to the class, right? Which in really simple terms, it means like, okay, all the values that we added with current are in here, right? And and because we did list node 0, right, all the values we have in this are 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. But before all of this, right, before we added all this, we plugged in a giant 0 right here, which is this. We don't want to count the 0 because that wasn't there, right? Like this is just something you have to do. So you just return sorted list.next. The .next basically says, okay, let's skip the 0 and return everything after it, which would be our answer. So with that being said, just skips 0. Let's give this a run. And beautiful, okay, and it works. And then if we submit it, perfect, and literally the most highest solutions and one of the best runtimes. Perfect. Um, but yeah, overall, that's basically the the entirety of this problem. There's definitely nothing too crazy here. Um, I know they don't give you hints for this one in particular, but the main thing to take away from this is is the creating of a new linked list, right? So like when you run into these problems um, where you have to meet certain accommodations, like for instance, like they need to be sorted, right? The best way to approach these problems, like the method for this, is to create a empty linked list, right? And then to run a while loop, because when running through linked lists, you're usually using while loops, right? So your while loops are 99% of the time going to look like this: list one, list two, right? Which in short basically means, okay, if list one does not equal none, and if list two does not equal none, right? If there are values going on in here, right? So use a while loop, create empty linked list, and we use the dot value. We get that by looking up here, right? So this is basically our class where we're given functions dot next and dot value. Dot val just basically reveals the value inside, and dot next basically points to the value after. So that's why we're using the dot next here, and that's why we're comparing the values here, right? And and for while loops, these are checking two conditions at the same time. So, make sure that you look at the examples to see if there's anything in specific that we need to look for. Like for instance, an example where one list gives you nothing and another list gives you something, right? So you need to make sure that you accommodate for that, which is what these two if statements are doing right here.